Hello, friends. My name is Anne Vivian. Welcome to Mystical Adventures, the show where we explore all things mystical, healing, creative, and inspiring. Welcome. I'm so excited you've joined me here on A1R Psychic Radio. Today's topic is a continuation of relationship skills and spirituality, which I did a show on a couple of weeks ago, and I was guided to discuss today more about this topic, specifically about the mystical power of release. And I don't just mean breaking up with someone, but the power of release in a number of ways to help us in our relationships. And this mystical power, this mystical principle really can help us in so many areas of our life. So I'm excited to explore that with you today. I just want to remind you that my friend and colleague Sylvia Gover, educator and author in Dream Studies, is going to be joining us June 22nd, so check that out. I also wanted to make sure you know I put up on my YouTube channel, Creative Psyche Studio, Psyche is spelled Psyche, the June tarot messages and forecast for June 2021. And that's me tuning into each sign, not using astrology, but using tarot and intuition to give you a more personal reading by sign for the energies for you and your sign for this current month, Hello, where am I? What month are we in? Current month of June 2021. So check that out on my YouTube channel, Creative Psyche Studio. We do have the new moon eclipse coming up in Gemini this week. And it's a great new moon for exploring topics related to Gemini, reading, writing, music, learning, anything having to do with mental ideas, travel, also peers and siblings. And it's an eclipse. My understanding about eclipse energy is it's a time of transformation. So you can do some release work with that new moon if you'd like. It's a time to turn within and connect with your wisdom for what transformations in maybe those Gemini areas might be helpful for you to make positive changes and adjustments and improvements. It is currently the waning moon right now, which means that the lunar light is decreasing. We're in between the full and the new moon. So it is a really good time for release work if you work by the cycles of the moon. And we are, like I said, going to be exploring some release work in today's show and how that can help you in what ways you might do that to improve your relationships, increase the love in your life, increase the flow in a number of ways of positive energy in your life. The spirit helper of this week, I just want to remind you, for those of you new to my show, welcome. And I just want to let you know, if you're new to my show, rather, what a spirit helper message is. Every week I open myself to guidance from the expanded realms, heart-centered, higher consciousness, to deliver a message to you, my audience, for help and guidance to navigate the energies of this upcoming week. So who should hop into my meditation but rabbit, spirit animal, rabbit or bunny? And the rabbit spirit animal is associated with fear, anxiety, as you might imagine when you imagine a little innocent bunny, but also abundance, fertility, multiplying like rabbits, intuition, prophecy, escape, cleverness. They're also associated with the fairy realm because they often appear at dusk and dawn. They're active at those times for safety, really. And those are the times associated with the fairy realm. In the Celtic tradition, I believe they're associated with the other world. So they have a little magical association with them as well, and other little dimensions. And not little dimensions, but the dimensions of little fairies and nature spirits. And rabbit did come to me, and I'm going to read to you the message for this upcoming week. Putting one foot in front of the other. Hopping along, I hop with joy. I hop with purpose. I am a gatekeeper. I can hop through the gateways and doorways into mystical realities. Where is your rabbit hole? I know how to maintain my space in my underground abode. I know how to keep company and to get along with my fellow rabbits. We are a community. We work together to stay safe. Understanding the needs of the community and the needs of the individual is important to maintain harmony in our society. We have roles to play, and we understand we do not all perform the same role at the same time. There are times to move forward quickly, times to jump fast, and also times to stay very still. Times to eat, times to sleep. There is an appropriate time for each activity. We rabbits understand not to nurture ourselves. We rabbits understand that to nurture ourselves, we must nurture each other and pay attention to both individual roles and the community roles, working together in unity. Pay attention to the appropriateness of the activity of the particular time. What is your role? What is your community's purpose and role? How can you work together? Sometimes understanding this requires communication, listening, or even using your instincts or intuition. Learn from us and understand that sometimes it is best to be quiet and still, but sometimes it is best to move forward and thump your feet. Thank you, rabbit, spirit animal. What a Gemini message. This Gemini new moon is all about communication and working together and knowing when to listen, when to speak. Sometimes with Gemini, we want to speak more than we listen, but this is a good week to be like the rabbit. Tune into your inner rabbit instincts, which will help you understand when to be still and when you need to move quickly, and the rhythm of your day, the rhythm of your life, the purpose of the activity, and understanding the timing of things, assessing the timing of things is a great Mercury retrograde. Mercury is in retrograde. Mercury retrograde activity, reassessing my routine, reassessing my purpose, my relationship with my community, my relationship with my peers, my siblings, all very Gemini. So we're talking today about knowing when to go, knowing when to stay, and knowing when to hold on to something and when to release something when it comes to relationships. This could be a pattern, it could be an emotion, it could be an actual relationship. I spoke a little bit about this in part one when I did part one on relationships and spirituality, and talked about incorporating spirituality and spiritual principles in your relationships. And one of the things I talked about is expectations, and to release your expectation for your partner to be God. Release your expectation for your partner to meet all of your needs. They're human just like you, so they're not perfect and they're not going to meet all of your needs. But if you seek your needs to be met by going first to your higher power and using your spiritual practice of prayer or meditation or contemplation, however it is you connect with your higher power, then that frees up your relationships to be beautiful and expanded human relationships and takes the pressure off of your partner, your friends, your loved ones to be your everything. And once you're getting that flow from divinity, you don't seek it in inappropriate places. So that's one form of release, is realizing when we're expecting our partner to meet our spiritual needs, when really we need to expect spirit, God, our higher power, to meet our spiritual needs, and making that shift. So we're going to continue to explore this today, my friends. And I want to ask you, do you have an idea of perhaps some aspect of your relationships, and not just romantic, but any kind of relationships, that might benefit from some type of letting go, some type of release? You know, there's that cliche, if you love something, let it fly free, and if it flies back, it truly loves you. There is so much wisdom in this saying, in this cliche. Sometimes cliches do have wisdom in them. And if you can understand the truth that true love is really free, true love is not possessive, true love is not controlling or dependent or codependent. True love is free. So we're talking about knowing when to let go of something in order for a natural free love to flow back in. And we often think about connecting with our loved ones. We often unconsciously or consciously think or act in such a way that is trying to connect with our loved ones, but in an unhelpful way. When we are controlling, when we are dependent, we're going to talk about some unhelpful ways to connect and some releases that you can practice to unlock that beautiful free flow of love to heal your relationships and yourself. And when you do this kind of release, it can help heal your own psyche. It can help heal multiple areas it's all related, isn't it? It can help free up your abundance. It can help free up your life energy. It can help free up a number of areas in your life, because when it's a universal law, when you're holding on to something, a universal principle, when you're holding on to something, you don't have room for things to flow in. And so when you're open, you're free and released, then you're open for, you open that doorway for things to flow in. So the first thing I want to talk about is releasing resentment and the practice of forgiveness. I'm getting back into this practice myself. I used to do forgiveness practice much more regularly, and I know that I benefited from it. Excuse me while I'm adjusting my paper. I'm propping it up here. That's how high-tech Anne is today, or every show. Okay, I think it's staying. I used to practice forgiveness on a very, very regular basis, and I did notice so much more of a positive flow in my, okay, the paper just fell down. I'm going to read it. Just going to read it on my desk here. So much more of a positive flow in everything, in just not only relationships, but in my own psyche and my life. And I am getting back to my regular forgiveness practice. I want to ask myself at the end of every day, who do I need to forgive? Who do I have any resentment towards at all? Who do I need to bless and forgive? Of course, sometimes you don't even realize that you're holding resentment against someone or towards someone. And you need to really ask yourself, you need to tune in. That's where the practice of prayer and meditation can be so helpful, so that you're in tune with yourself, that you're connecting with yourself. And as you tune in, you can clarify to yourself, wow, I really am mad at George for not picking up the garbage. I don't know, whatever. Whatever the situation is in your life. You might not even be realizing that you are holding resentment towards someone. And it could be resentment towards yourself. So forgiving, letting go, having a practice of, I bless you, I love you, I release you, I forgive you, I recommend as a daily practice. Have I kept it up? No, but I'm going to get back into it, and this show is inspiring me to do that. I also have done forgiveness rituals on the waning moon, and this is a time of release, or you could do it on the full moon, any time of the month that feels right to you, and make a whole list of people that you want to forgive and do some sort of ritual with it. I have burned the list. You can also put it in water to dissolve. Any kind of ritual to help you connect with the intention of release and forgiveness. And forgiving yourself, making sure that as you're doing your forgiveness inventory, you remember to forgive yourself. And as we do this, we not only release the person, if you can think about forgiveness as release of yourself, your own energy, it almost doesn't have anything to do with the other person in a way. It has to do with releasing your own energy, because that resentment is blocking up your energy. Now, if you've been through trauma, if you have some sort of really disturbing experience that is something you want to let go of, sometimes we need a little bit extra help to process that and to get some even professional support from a licensed therapist or a spiritual practitioner in order to work through the pain and the trauma that has caused the feelings of anger, which are natural, in order to arrive at the place where we can forgive. Because we have to be able to feel our feelings before we can forgive. And sometimes if you have something like trauma, you need a little bit more support to get there. And I certainly encourage you to seek out that kind of help if that's you. Also, releasing control. Are you trying to control your loved ones? Are you trying to rescue them? That's a form of controlling help. Are you over-helping? When we're trying to rescue someone, when we're trying to take on what's theirs, when we're over-caring, what that does is it blocks up that flow of love, and we're putting out a vibration of, I don't have enough, this person doesn't have enough, I'm going to take responsibility for this person's stuff, and I'm going to compensate for this lack. And we're talking about the law of vibration, the law of attraction now. Like attracts like. So you're attracting more of that blockage and that lack and that control. So releasing trying to overhelp, trying to rescue someone, trying to take on something that's inappropriate for you to take on, that's really in the realm of that person. It's that person's karma, that person's responsibility. Now, of course, we can support, we can offer support, and sometimes the line is gray and fuzzy where support ends and codependency and rescuing begins. But if you can tell in your heart when you pray about it, when you meditate on it, if you're realizing that you're practicing some sort of help by overhelping. There's also just control or possessiveness, being controlled or trying to control someone else. Now, you can't force someone not to be possessive over you, but you can release your side of the engagement in that pattern. And we're talking about releasing it through the power of your intention, through the power of prayer, through the power of spoken word, written word, the power of your intention. As you release this possessiveness, you open the doorway for that free love, that real love to come in. So you're not blocking up that channel of love with that tight grasp. You're opening the channel and allowing it to widen so that love can flow in and flow out. Release over dependency. Release it if you're depending too much on someone to do things for you that you know you could do yourself. And, we're talking about power here. So these are a few of the ways that we might be consciously or unconsciously trying to deal with our relationships and get the love that we want. Unhelpful ways. Release these unhelpful ways. Release it in your consciousness. Ask your higher power, ask spirit, ask source to help bring in a higher love, a love that is free, that is respectful, that is having faith in yourself and others, that you're able to get the love that you want without control or manipulation. And start with the feeling of abundance and free love, faith in love, love for yourself. And then you attract that experience in your relationships. Start with that feeling of divine love and loving yourself. And you send that vibration out. Faith, there is enough love. I don't need to be possessive or control it or approval seek. I can be myself. I can be authentic and attract that love. Try it this week, my friend, and open yourself to this higher vibrational love. Notice what happens in your relationships. I would love to hear from you if you try it. I have a lovely caller that my producer has told me we have from Pennsylvania, and her name is Kayla. Hi, Kayla. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, Kayla. We're talking about releasing and forgiveness and releasing old patterns in relationships. How do you feel like you are? Do you feel like you are releasing what you need to release in relationships and in general?
No.
So it might be helpful to practice some release work this week. Well, how can I help you tonight, my friend? Would you like a general reading? Do you have a question?
I was calling in for a general reading.
Sure. I'm just going to tune into your energy for a few seconds, and it'll just be a moment of silence. And I'm just going to tune in and get a general energy read, and then I'll pull some cards, okay?
Okay.
Well, I get this feeling from you that you have this beautiful, abundant energy. Taylor, I see an elephant around you, which to me means abundance and strength, and I think you're an abundant and strong person. And I also get the feeling like you love helping people, and you have also a delicate energy to you, and that you are sensitive and are like things in a particular way, and use that energy to help others. I get the sense that you are ready to do some major releasing. You're ready to just, it's not like giving up on something, but it's like you're ready to just sort of end a chapter, move on, release something, let something go. Speaking of release, does this make any sense?
Yes.
Like tear something down. What do you want to tear down? What do you want to just like end?
I hold up a lot of past issues from when I was growing up, and I would just like to get rid of them already. I've been holding on to them for too long.
So tonight's show really relates to what you want to do, only it's not in relationships, it's in your own psyche. And I've got the Judgment card that just popped out. Judgment is the perfect card for you, Kayla, because it is about absolution. It's about atonement. It's about making amends, forgiveness, release. It's about ending a chapter, starting a new one, and being able to release, forgive, let go, process. So I'm pulling some cards for you, for your energy, Kayla. And you've been thinking about this for a while. It looks like you've been contemplating this for a while. And you have had plans for a while to resolve this. I see you contemplating it. You may have been speaking about it with people. You may have been reading perhaps some different books about ideas about how to release your past. And it's like you haven't wanted to give up. You haven't figured out how to do it. You've been very persevering with keeping this as a strong intention. And I think that's a strength here, right? It is a very heavy, yes, it is a very heavy burden for you, my friend. And I think part of what Spirit is pointing out is the obstacle is what do you have to lose if you let go of it? In other words, asking yourself, what would happen if I really did let go of this past and what's associated with this past? I'm feeling some fear come up, which is normal. And I'm feeling there is a sense of security you get with staying stuck. And that's what happens. We stay stuck because that's the best way we know to get by. So facing some of these fears, I think, is imperative. Does that make sense, Kayla?
Yes.
I feel that you would strongly benefit from working with someone. And if you're already working with someone, either taking it to the next level or finding a healer to work with. And I feel like someone that might be really helpful for you to work with is able to be a little bit fun and playful with you, so it's not so serious, because I think maybe part of the block for you is it feels so serious and heavy and overwhelming. But you're going to be able to let this go as you work with a healer who's playful, who knows how to help you tap into your creativity. I think that's also a way that you could begin to process some of the stuff that you want to release and some of this forgiveness and some of this, coming to terms with what happened in the past by keeping it light, keeping it playful, keeping it creative, doing maybe some sort of more engaged kind of healing work. So it's not just like talking, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a healer in mind, or are you open to seeing a healer?
Yeah, I'm open to seeing a healer. I don't have one in mind.
Well, it might be time to bust out do you have like a holistic practitioner publication in your neighborhood?
Honestly, I'm not even sure.
Well, it might benefit you, Kayla, to just kind of hunt around, hunt online, see what holistic groups there are. You can see what holistic therapists, shamanic practitioners, energy healers, pastors, psychics, past life specialists. There's so many kinds of healers, and you can see who you're attracted to. But I feel like if you work with someone who is more playful and engaging and can help you bring out almost like this inner child in you, this creative side, that is really going to help you connect with the past in a way that you can actually release it. And I feel like Spirit is saying, Kayla, that, this might take a while. This might be a journey. So don't rush it. I'm seeing it might actually take, you might have a big chunk of progress in 2 months, but then another chunk I'm seeing is maybe 2 years, where it's not that you're not making progress. It's just this might be long term where you continue to make progress, bit by bit. So Spirit is saying have patience with yourself and don't give up. You are going to find the right person. And I think you are going to release and experience quite a beautiful healing, my friend. So I so appreciate you called in, Kayla, and I really hope that was helpful.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Take care and power to your release work, my friend. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I want to encourage everyone to practice your release work this week. I will look forward to seeing you next week. Have a beautiful Gemini new moon.